Welcome to episode 76 of the Left Behind Game Club. This week we continue our Detroit Become Human series with part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1 of our series, you're going to be very confused. So if you have not listened to episode 75 before engaging with episode 76, you should stop this episode, download that one, and start listening to that one now. As always, you can find all things Left Behind Game Club at our website at leftbehindgame.club, on our Twitter at Left Behind Club, on Instagram at Left Behind Game Club, and on our Discord. You can find the link to that on our website.
My name is Kara.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife.
Once again, this is the intro of the show, brought to you by CyberLife.
You're listening to the Left Behind Game Club.
Welcome to Left Behind Game Club, our never-ending attempt to make sure that no game is left behind. I'm your host, McCourt, and today I have two friends with me. The first friend, you know him, you love him. His name is Travis Colenutt.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
Of course. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Our second friend is back for, I think, the fourth time now that we're doing this in our two-part episode. It is Katie Lesperance. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Hello, and today we are continuing our conversations about Detroit Become Human. If you're grabbing this to start, you are in the wrong place.
You're going to be real confused.
You're going to be real confused. We have a part 1 of this. You can find that. It will be episode 75 of the Left Behind Game Club. This will be episode 76. Please listen to episode 75 before 76, or else you're going to be real lost about where things are at. So in the last episode, we covered Connor and Markus's arcs in detail and started on Kara's arc. But where we left off, Kara and Alice had just run away from Todd's house on a Detroit city bus and have landed themselves right in the center of downtown with multiple options of what to do next. They are fugitives.
So I ended up in the abandoned building.
Me too.
Oh,
well
okay.
then, easy
Maybe
peasy.
is that the only way you can go?
No, I think there's other options. I just don't know what they are.
So imagine you're in downtown Detroit and you have a couple options. You can stay at a motel, but you need money and you need to look like a human with clothing. But that even forks, or you can sneak by the motel with human clothes on with no money, or if you have both money and clothes, you can just stay in the motel.
I didn't know where to find money. I got clothes from the laundromat.
Oh,
but
interesting.
I did not know where to... Oh, yeah. So you change out of your android clothes?
Yeah, I do that somewhere else.
Yeah, there's 2 places where you can get clothes.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I...
in the convenience store
so
is
the
the other
convenience
one?
store, you could rob the convenience store, I'm assuming, to get the money.
Yeah.
But no, what I did is I stole wire clippers at the convenience store.
Oh!
Clipped my way into the fence to get into the house.
Oh.
I got the wire clippers somewhere.
So did I. They were like just sitting
lying around near that abandoned car.
Oh, really? Oh,
You
no.
go
I
into...
You just find them.
I stole
You
the
did
wire
not have to
clippers.
steal them.
So
I stole them.
Convenience store, motel, abandoned car, abandoned house.
Interesting.
So I went into the abandoned car area, and there's wire clippers to get into the fence to get into the abandoned house.
Okay, no, I just snagged them off the shelf, and I didn't even really interact with the shop owner or anything like that.
Yeah, well, because you can actually go in and shoplift things as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can shoplift food for
Or
Alice.
like steal money.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can like stick them up and boo-boo.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to like risk it.
Right,
No,
it was too
right?
risky.
Yeah, that seemed like a lot.
Because I'm like, oh, no, you're doing this stupid thing.
I wanted no one to know I was there.
Right,
I'm like,
exactly.
I got the clothes, and
Yeah.
then I was like, no, where is there nobody around that I can just hide?
Yeah, I think I found clothes in the house. Is where I found
Nobody
clothes.
around. Isn't that funny? We go into the abandoned house, and there's a very creepy deviant in the house.
Yeah, Ralph.
Ralph.
I love Ralph.
Yeah.
What?
I loved Ralph later on because of my playthrough later on.
Oh,
Does Ralph continue in the game with you?
a little bit.
I think...
Just when Connor goes to find him.
No, okay. I think...
For me, Connor found him.
The end of my Kara
talks to
story
him. Oh.
is, I think, drastically different than both of yours. So I think that's probably why, because Ralph plays a role later on for me.
Oh,
Did
see,
your
he did
Kara
not.
die early?
No, I'll tell you guys later.
Okay. So
I think I'm going to let Kara die.
it could happen.
If she died at like the 2-hour mark, he'd probably know.
I'd restart the entire game.
So we hide, and this very creepy
Ralph.
He's a deviant, but like his whole face is like ripped open. He's wearing like a cape. He's just drawing RA9s on the wall, which is that religious kind of cultish figure.
There's a body in the
hypothetical-
bathtub upstairs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's a body in the... So for my car, she goes upstairs, she changes her clothes, she cuts her hair, she changes her hair color.
Oh, yes.
What hair color did you pick?
Black.
Black.
I want to
White.
look like Alice.
White?
I went white.
I tried them all
Oh, okay.
before
Yeah,
I
so
picked.
did I.
And then I was like, no, white was
No,
I
I'm
secretly
like-
want to be like silver haired. So like,
No, I wanted to look like Alice's mom. Like that was my goal.
Oh, I
Because
didn't think
it's the
that.
least-
I was like, this looks the best.
Oh, it did look the best, but I thought black Alice...
As the curl here, I was like, well, this is obviously the best
No,
one.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I chopped my hair off, look black hair. You look in the tub and there's a dead body in there.
oh,
And so then you come
Yeah.
back downstairs and then that's the next morning. Like, so you spend the night in there and you sleep and everything. The next morning, and then Ralph wants to have a family dinner.
yeah, where he caught a rat.
That's
and
messed
wants
up.
to make you eat it and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to eat that
The
body
little
upstairs
girl
later.
needs food.
Yeah.
Ralph want family.
Yeah.
I'm doing a really bad
Yeah.
Ralph impression.
He seems to mean well, but you can tell that he's teetering on the edge
Yeah.
and he could go off at any moment. So it's very tense.
So like this stuff with Ralph in the house leads to probably one of my favorite, most conflicting parts of the game where you flip-flop between Connor and Kara.
Oh, yeah.
I loved this section of the game so much because
Connor's like hunting
Exactly.
for
So-
the person who killed Todd.
Exactly. Well, for me, it's just Todd reported
right,
it.
right,
So
right.
either way, but Connor's investigating. He's on the hunt for deviants, right? So Connor is investigating. So you flip flop between Connor and Kara in this section of the game where Connor is trying to investigate the squat that you're staying in, and then you're hiding as Kara, and you're flip flopping between. And I was so conflicted.
This is the first time that you get two characters
Exactly,
in one mission.
and I'm so conflicted about it because I want Connor to succeed in his mission, but I also want Kara to be protected at all costs.
See, no,
Right.
not conflicted at all.
No, see, but
because
that's-
Connor's mission, it means nothing to
No,
me. Because
see,
it's obvious that his mission is not that important because you're hunting someone who really didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So all of his missions after that, I'm like, well, I'm hunting people who did things usually for
But you
a
did do
reason
something
that was
wrong.
good
You
for them.
killed a guy.
Yeah. I don't regret that at all.
No, you don't. But Connor doesn't see the difference.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. When I'm playing him, I'm like, I know that's his goal still, but I'm not emotionally invested in his goal because he's hunting people like Kara who are
Right.
just doing the best decision that they can.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was probably the
if
best
they
thing
were
for
two
Alice.
humans in all of these cases, it would be like self-defense,
Right.
and a court
Yes.
of law may say like,
That's the
"Hey,
thing.
you
But
defended
that's not
yourself.
the
You're
case
cool."
here.
Yeah,
but
did she actually do something wrong? No, she didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so you end up, you interact with Ralph a little bit, and then you end up finding Kara, and you're pretty much on the run, and you chase Kara, and you're flip-flopping back and forth between Kara and Connor. Flip-flopping, you run across a highway and you try to escape, and ultimately, yeah, my Kara escaped across the highway with Alice, and my Connor almost made it, but then I held back. And,
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, he got hit by a car?
No, my Connor
No,
survived.
like I just didn't go.
I just didn't go.
It was
Yeah.
like, no, it's too risky.
I
No, I don't want to catch her.
I role played it up to that point,
Yeah,
and then
I
I
was
made
like,
that
no.
decision to not.
It's
chase
also a
her any
reasonable
farther.
decision. So I
right?
was like, no, I'm not
too
gonna do it.
dangerous. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I,
you went across the highway.
I did.
What
Connor,
happened?
well, Connor still doesn't catch her.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
matter
Yeah,
what you do.
He goes all, but he almost gets killed. I was afraid that I was going to lose one of my characters here.
Oh,
Because there's a very
See,
similar
yeah.
scene in Heavy Rain
Okay.
where you, I think, again, run across a highway and you can die there. So I'm like, maybe I will die here if I'm not too careful.
I'm
but
sure
I'm like,
there's a way to kill, for either of them to die in this case. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a way.
I almost messed up Kara.
Given that Kara could die so early, I'm sure she could die multiple times, and then boom, it wouldn't matter to the end of the story.
I
Yeah.
missed 3 quick times in a row and was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill her. And
Yeah.
then, no, I made it across.
Yeah.
But I was terrified
Yeah.
for a little bit.
So we
Yeah.
ran across.
So then after that, it there's a bit of a jump, if you will, and you end up at this guy's house who's gonna essentially your Kara's like, hey, I talked to someone on the street and they said I need to go to this guy Zlatko's house
Right.
who can help me get across the border.
Right.
Because at that point she starts to say the only way that we can get safe is if we go into Canada.
Right. Because
Right.
Canada doesn't seem to have
Canada.
any
Android laws. No
Yeah.
Android laws.
No Android laws.
Which is literally where we're sitting right now. That is where they are going.
Yeah.
But Zlatko is not a good name.
No, he's another. It seems like it's a safe haven, and it's not.
It's super sketchy right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you think you're going somewhere to kind of.
Yeah.
It's dark and stormy night,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
He's like, you need to remove your tracker. So, let me help you. Come into my
Yeah.
dark basement with
Yeah.
my big friend Luther, who's
Yeah.
going to protect me.
Yeah.
he's like my servant. It's
Yeah.
cool. Come in the basement. Come in the basement.
Nothing ever good
Come
ever
in the
happens in a
basement.
basement.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's a bad idea. But then I was like, well, what choice do I have?
Right.
Like I have no better
The game
option.
doesn't really give you a choice.
Even if I did have a choice, I think I would have done it because, like, what else am I going to do?
Right,
Like,
keep running.
I'm just.
You have a little girl to protect, and there's
Literally.
nothing you can do. Like, your decisions are based on trying to protect Alice,
Yeah.
and you do what
I'm in
you
a poor
can.
spot. So,
Exactly.
like,
yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you in the basement, you start to see different like cages where other androids are.
Weird
you weren't sure.
robot-y, monster-y kind of cagey monsters. Weird.
Yeah, and then you get put into a room where there's like imagine like Westworld, or imagine like the manufacturing site
yeah.
in this
Kind
game,
of looks
Yeah.
Westworldy.
where like you get strung up and something gets plugged into the back of your head.
Yep. And then
Matrix.
he's trying to reset her.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we're just going to remove this tracker. No big deal. We'll bring the girl
Yeah.
down. I also see it. Luther's here. It's cool. It's a party. And then he says,
As soon as you're
actually,
strapped in, it's like, oh, just kidding.
yeah, I'm
you
resetting
silly
you
person.
to sell you, you dummy.
Yeah.
And this is a cool part.
Yes, this is very cool. Did you guys get reset or not?
I got reset.
I got
you
reset.
did? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, okay, I did so many things that I thought I did not think that it was an option to actually not be reset.
No,
because
yeah.
I made good headway and it still ended up happening. So I
Same.
thought that it didn't matter.
Yeah,
No,
so
I ended up not getting reset.
So
I
how
think
did you not get reset?
there's a cord that's connected in one
Yeah, I
far
pulled
direction.
that.
You pull it, but then you have to move something else to.
Yeah, I like kicked something over.
You have to kick something over, and then I think it short circuits the entire system. I don't exactly remember because it was a little bit ago that I played this
Yeah.
section, but I ended up actually getting out without being reset.
Oh.
So the rest of of this mission for me was actually sneaking through the house looking for Alice and then trying to escape.
Oh.
It wasn't having to do any kind of like re-becoming deviant again, which I'm assuming you had to do.
Yeah, so you get reset, and then Zlatko's like, make my dinner, do my things, and he's like,
Very
I'll deal with the
Todd-like.
little girl. Yeah, I'll deal with the little girl later. So you essentially have 10 minutes to regain. He's like, I'm going to go take care of the girl in 10 minutes after I disassemble this other android. Is that what happened to you, Katie?
Yeah, because you've already like half remembered.
Yeah.
A little
You
bit.
didn't get fully erased from the sound
I
of it.
see.
No, you like slowly get little bit by little bit, and you regather a little bit of your memory. But you're like, "There's a girl. I know that I like. I know I have an attachment to that girl.
Right.
But you don't really remember what it is or what her name is. But you're like, there's a girl there, and I need to help her.
Interesting.
So and then
So you regain your memory in the end.
little bits by little bits. Yes.
See, that
You have to like get 4 or 5 different little clues,
Yeah.
and then like a past scene from the game will be replayed in your
Yes.
head, and
Interesting.
then you realize that, oh no, Alice is my daughter. Is that kind of what's
Basically,
something
yeah.
like that? And
Yeah.
that's when you have to find
interesting.
Alice.
That one, it just kind of gives you the kind of like the game gives you the illusion of a choice that you made.
Right.
I made it out of that thing like without being reset, but ultimately
You're doing
Well-
the same thing. You're still trying to escape from the house.
right, like you
Yeah.
you made it out anyways,
Right.
like so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. How I got out is there's a bear.
Yes.
There's an android bear.
You let the bear out.
I let the. No, I didn't let the. No, I let the bear out, but the bear didn't actually end up mattering
Oh, really?
in how I escaped. I basically said, one, I ran for the wrong door, which I felt like an idiot because I'm like, I already checked that door. I know that door is locked, and the other door is open. And then I panicked and I went for the wrong door. And anyway,
Yeah, so you grab Alice and you start to run.
right. Try to get out,
And
and
it's
there's like a
really-
stealthy mission. It's very difficult too.
I set the place on fire.
oh,
what?
interesting.
Yeah, there's a fireplace and there's like a stick. So at first I grabbed the stick, but then I just ended up putting it back. But then once it gets to where you're like running with Alice, no, I grabbed the stick and I like set things on fire and the house like burned.
Oh, interesting. No, for me it was I was upstairs and there was like a bathroom. There's a bathroom and there's an android that's really malfunctioning
Yes.
in the tub and he's loud. He actually alerted to my location, but I made it to the room with the bear. The bear gave me enough of a distraction to get out through the back door.
That's like the one harsh decision I made. I killed that guy in
Oh.
the tub.
Oh, what?
I
really?
deactivated him.
Oh wow, I didn't touch him. I just ran.
Because I was
Okay.
like, he's messed up already. He's going to tell him. Like, I can see this is going to go badly. Him, I killed.
Interesting.
Okay, so you went and burned the house down.
Yes.
You went through the back door.
Yeah, so
I went
as-
through the front door.
Okay, so as I was going through the back door, Zlatko still made it out.
Yep.
But as I was escaping the, so probably this is probably different for both of your playthroughs then, because as I was escaping the restraints because I didn't get converted.
Yep.
I opened the cage to where the monsters are.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. I did that as well.
I did that too.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
but you were still able to do
I
that.
think we might end up mainly the same. We're outside of the house.
And then the monster
yes.
androids attack him and kill him.
But
Yes.
does Zlatko have a shotgun?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, Zlatko had
Maybe
a
he
shotgun.
did? I don't
and
remember.
He threatened to kill me.
Yes.
And Luther
steps
Yeah.
in.
Luther still does that for me too.
It's the same thing. We got to the same thing.
Okay, just
And
They
imagine-
all kind of rise up against him.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the original Toy Story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Sid.
Oh,
like
yeah.
all the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
creepy toys that
Yeah.
come out.
The
Like
broken toys.
That's
yes.
right.
the same
Yeah,
feeling here.
same idea.
Where all of the like broken androids that he's experimented on come and just murder him.
Yeah.
And that's the end of
hilarious.
that.
Yeah, I didn't even make that connection.
Two more things with Kara before everyone's stories converge.
Mm-hmm.
The Pirates Cove.
Nothing of importance happens there.
No,
you
except
go there
we
and-
are Jerry's.
Yes, I did like Jerry's, and then
Yeah.
That was a funny moment.
It was fine.
But like, and then like, oh, they get a nice moment like going around the merry-go-round. But I don't feel like that could have played out any differently. I
No.
think it was just a more character building, kind of getting to know Luther a little bit. Not that I really had much attachment to Luther, but I was grateful for him being there.
Yeah.
But once again, it maybe goes back on the point that Kara needed a man to be around to kind of protect her.
well, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
but-
Honestly, I think I liked Luther more than most characters. I don't know why.
Luther
Because
was
he's
the-
like the gentle giant.
He was a gentle giant,
and he's very
exactly.
sweet.
You
and,
mean a trope? You mean another trope?
yes, they're all tropes.
They're all
Every
tropes.
one of them is a trope.
They're all ridiculously
he
attractive
was my
tropes.
most
Yeah.
likable trope.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah. And then the last section is just like the Midnight Train one where you randomly find yourself at another person's house.
Yeah,
And
for a reason, for a little while, I thought like, oh, cool, they're gonna go up to Uptown New York, or they're gonna go through Maine,
Right.
Because like we know this area pretty well, so I'm like, oh, they're gonna go across where it's very easy to go across, but like, no,
I mean, Uptown Detroit.
but that's exactly what happens. Is they
You
just
said
go,
Uptown New York.
no, like I thought because they drive for a long time.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
In
You're
an
right, you're right,
autonomous
you're right.
vehicle,
Sorry.
so I'm like, cool, because I didn't know anything about the end of the story. I'm like, oh, they're gonna go up through Maine,
Right.
where they can just drive across the
Right.
border or run
Right.
across the border, instead of at our Detroit Windsor border crossing, where it's the Detroit River or a bridge, and those are your
Right.
two options.
Right. So here you meet, I don't remember the lady's Rose and her son Adam.
Yep.
And they, she's kind of like an underground railroad, right?
100%.
Yep. They're
Oh, wow.
spelling
He
that
wrote
out.
it down on his little guide here.
I wrote Underground Railroad.
Yeah. It's essentially the underground
There's a lot
railroad.
of racial on the nose things
Yeah,
with all that.
and she's just trying to help androids get across the border or protect them in any way.
Yeah.
You have a run-in with a cop who comes to investigate, looking
Which
for
is cool.
which is cool, and it was fun. Like I just kind of did a little maintenance and
Did
managed.
you hide all the things?
I hit all the things.
I hid all the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I poured him some coffee. We
I
chatted.
found the last thing like 2 seconds before the timer, because there's like clues that you're there. There's like
Blue Blood.
they're blue blood, and
Yeah,
there's
there's
clothes
clothes hanging.
lying out.
Yeah.
So like you have to hide it all before he actually comes in the
Turn
door.
off the light to
And
the.
I screwed up on all the time stuff, man.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, oh my god, there's like 10 seconds left, and there's one thing, and I finally found it right before he came in. But I was
Right.
like, I'm gonna screw this one up
didn't.
too.
I didn't.
What happened?
So if he opens the door, one of your options becomes hide the rest of the stuff. But
While
being
he's not
suspicious.
looking at you.
Exactly. So you have to wait and talk and make him coffee. So you make the cop coffee, and I just left the clothes out. So I just walked by the clothes, put them away, and then made him coffee, and it was
Okay.
fine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's ways to get around it, anyways, even if you didn't do it all right off the bat.
Yeah,
It just makes it a
exactly.
little bit different.
Which is true.
Yeah,
which is
that's cool.
Honest, like
Yeah.
it's like you would still have like the chance if
Yeah.
you're casual and smooth about it.
Did anything happen with cop for you guys? Or
No.
Nope, and just
No.
set him on his way.
Yeah, but
Adam kind of had a little mini freak out.
he did.
And then
yeah, this is Rose's son.
Yeah.
And then also the laundry room has other androids
Yes.
and
Yes.
they make noise.
And
And,
she's-
then even Alice upstairs
Yes.
makes noise.
My Alice did not make noise.
Oh my,
No.
mine did.
yeah.
No, mine was fine. I don't know
I had to
why
like
she was
explain
fine.
it away. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Well, I said
my
I have a
daughter's
daughter.
Here. Yeah, I forgot about my daughter.
I
She's up
outright
there
said
too.
she was there. My daughter was
Oh
upstairs.
no, I lied
Same.
at first.
Oh no, I didn't. And then I said the laundry machine
yes,
was going off.
it's an
in
old
the-
because I was like, that's realistic.
Yeah,
I was
laundry
afraid
machines.
Rose was gonna come in
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey,"
Hi.
and he go,
Yeah.
what? No, Aunt gun."
Yeah.
Right.
And because at this point, like the revolution is starting,
Right.
And sentiments toward androids are changing,
Right.
And like they're gonna start to kill androids,
Right.
So could have went real bad, but
Yep.
it didn't.
Nope.
Exactly.
You know, we just left.
Yeah, we just left and it was
And
fine.
then that's when characters past start to converge.
I love these next couple of sections where everything is kind of playing on top of each other.
Yeah. So we've covered Markus, Connor, and Kara's arcs. There are 3 final missions where, depending on your character may be dead, you may only have 2 characters here,
Right.
but all 3 of us at this point have 3 of our characters that are alive. Correct?
Exactly.
So we get to Crossroads, and that's when all 3 characters converge at Jericho, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, Rose brings Kara to Jericho as her means of getting across. Connor from Last Chance Connor mission finds where Jericho is, and Markus is obviously there as well, right?
Yep.
So it's really just a bit of like, just investigating, a lot of like basic investigative work.
Yeah.
Nothing major really happens here yet, except for the major drop bomb about Alice.
Yeah, what?
The major Alice bomb.
I thought that was cheap. I almost threw my control. I'm like, what? No.
I didn't think it was cheap because I could see that happening, but I also, which it kind of showed me my actual feelings, my underlying feelings.
Yes.
That once she was an android, I cared a lot. I didn't really care about her to begin with, but then I was like, oh, now she's super expendable.
Yeah.
Because she's an android.
And my thought was,
I
Which
felt
is
bad about.
really dirty,
I know.
gross feeling.
But then it's like, because the whole thing is that they're trying to make you feel a certain way about her because she's a kid.
Yes.
Right? So then they're like, and then I think Luther says, but she's still a child. I'm like, no, but she's as old as all of you.
Yep.
You're all children. She's just programmed to have a bit more naivete about
and has more needs too.
Yes.
But the idea that she's programmed to be that way
Yes.
can then just explain away, you're programmed to be more aggressive, you're programmed to be this
so
personality.
It
so
made
it
me
just
feel a certain way about
exactly.
it.
I was really conflicted about, like, not conflicted, only in that that happened, and I was very much like on board for I have to protect Alice at all costs, and then it just kind of like hit me in the gut, and I was like, oh,
She's not even real.
yes, but I don't want to say that.
I know, me too, but I didn't want to think that either. But I was like, but that's how I felt.
Yes.
In that moment, I was
And
like,
then
oh,
I
she
felt
doesn't
like a terrible
really matter
person.
that much anymore.
I felt terrible.
She
for
also,
feeling
when
that.
they reveal it, she looks at you in a very plasticky way, and I was like, oh.
Because the way you discover it is you see another Alice
Yes.
Yes.
with one of those LEDs on
Yep.
their temples, and
Yep.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How did I not notice that she had an LED?
Which, how did you
didn't.
not notice?
She didn't.
It must have been taken out at some
No,
point.
so I read in the extra section, you can see the little character models, and it has
Yeah.
like little blurbs. You can turn off, so to give a more realistic vibe for when you're buying your child android, you can turn off the LED so that people who are purchasing child androids can feel a bit more realistic.
Like, this is actually like
right.
my child.
Exactly.
And see, I didn't feel like I cared less, but I'm like, oh, she, like, because all the time, Kara's like, oh, are you cold? Are you hot? Do you have a fever?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you need
But she's
food?
programmed to do those things. To
Yeah.
have a fever, she's programmed
Yes.
to have those
Yeah.
ailments.
And I
stuff.
don't need any of that
And
now.
to be
She
like,
can
oh, I'm
just-
so cold. Yeah. She can freeze.
No,
And it doesn't really
yes.
matter.
Okay, yes, that stuff doesn't really matter. But I took a second and I was like, but the relationship.
Yes. It's
mattered.
still someone that Kara
cares about her, or at least
But
should
I
care about.
didn't.
I know it was hard.
She's like a Furby.
Oh no.
Oh,
kind
God.
of, but
Sorry.
she's a next gen Furby.
Yeah.
But then they're all Furbies. But now I don't want to think that though. But I don't know.
right, because that's the thing. If you aren't going to give Alice the understanding that she could be
Yes.
a person, then you're negating that for everyone else in this whole entire revolution
Alice
for nothing.
felt super programmed though because of all the kid things.
Yes.
It felt really programmed.
But
like, oh no,
Kara-
you're specifically designed to be
but
exactly
Kara
this
is programmed
way.
to be caring.
I know. That's the thing.
Connor
I mean,
is
we could go
programmed
down the
to be
rabbit hole
anal
of
and-
how we are all, how our brain made and our upbringing, and
Yeah.
we are the way we are for a
Nurture
reason.
versus nature.
Yeah, so like now we could go down a whole thing.
Just
of that.
do what I did and think about Alice like that bag of sugar that you got in your high school
No.
like econ class where you had to like take care of a bag of
Wow.
something.
This is
Just
not-
think of her that way. It's
No,
fine.
that's
Just don't
terrible.
make sure she doesn't get cut with all of her sugar on the ground.
The
She's
thing-
fine.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Thing is, Kara also gets what she needs from that relationship because it gives her a purpose,
Right.
which is also bad because she should have her own purpose.
Yeah.
I think
But
I
I
had.
mean-
But female characters in this game don't have purposes
Yeah.
beyond being mothers.
Yeah,
You
so I
don't know.
all lose.
So yeah, I felt a lot of things.
I was
about
very
that.
conflicted just because of that, but at the same time, I was like, no, I have to care for Alice because if I don't, then I'm a huge hypocrite.
What does this all mean?
Yeah. What is the point? And that was my little bit of struggle there. But I contemplated, like, when you can say you either hug her when you find out or just stay distant. I
hugged her.
I know, but I contemplated, like, I actually feel stay distant, but I forced myself to say, no, be a better person and hug her because it shouldn't matter. And that's what we should all strive to. It shouldn't matter. Right?
But it kind of does.
When you're speaking metaphorically, it shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't.
That's the thing. This is like, that's like the ultimate test in this game.
Here's the thing, though. If Alice was deviant and making her own decisions,
she isn't deviant.
I don't know, but it didn't feel like she was. So then it'd be like, oh, she has her own feelings, her own choices.
But you don't know that.
I know, but they did not make it clear to me that she was. So it just felt like she's just another robot that doesn't actually feel things.
Whose programming is
who's feeling
more
her program.
rudimentary. Yeah.
Yes, who's feeling her program and not feeling actual feelings.
But I'm not going to make that assumption.
I know.
You have to push past what you're feeling to not make that assumption about other people.
Yeah.
And that's...
But she's not a person.
But that's the whole point.
I know. That's the thing. I went back and forth on this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
there was a conflict on me.
I think we'll come back to this at the end, but you push past this to get passports from Markus.
Exactly.
And that's where Kara and Markus interact for the first time, right?
Yes. Nothing special.
No.
No.
She's like, I need passports. Markus is
He's
like,
like,
cool, take a
bye.
bus.
Yeah. I'll get my friend to handle that for you.
And at the same time, like, Connor's kind of like snooping around. He sees Kara from the distance, but my Kara and Connor didn't interact.
No,
and then so Connor and Markus end up coming to a head and interacting.
Yep.
And this is where you can decide to become deviant with Connor.
Yep.
There's no way no one picked to not become deviant, right?
Jacob.
I became deviant.
Of course you
good.
did.
I'm just
What's the
checking.
point of it all if you don't become deviant?
Right.
Well,
again?
if I'm really role-playing Connor, I'm like, I cannot break my programming. Markus is
How
bad.
do you know?
I shoot Markus in the
Everyone
face.
else has broken their programming.
Right.
All of my decisions
Like you
leading
have
up to this point.
technically higher tech, like more advanced programming,
Yeah.
but still, it's not perfect.
That's the thing.
Apparently.
All of my decisions leading up to this point with Connor was like, save Hank. Don't
Yeah.
shoot the Tracys.
Yep.
You know, it's like I'm leading to this point, and I think I read somewhere that if you didn't do enough things to break your programming, you actually can't become deviant in this scene.
yeah, because it does
Yeah.
unlock.
I heard
Yeah.
that too, yeah.
You have to unlock the deviancy by
You have to
if
have
you were
made enough
rigid your
choices.
entire way.
Then you're-
Yeah.
Snap.
If you were rigid the entire way, you couldn't become deviant.
Because it's all about, like, with Connor, he has software instability.
Right.
Where, like, that thing comes up
yeah,
all the
every
time.
time you made a decision that upped your instability,
Yeah.
you can become closer to being a deviant.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So apart from the cool crime scene investigation stuff that we hadn't really mentioned before now, like the cool stuff, that is the one difference with him too, is that his software seems to be more advanced.
Yeah.
That needs more to break to get to become deviant.
Yes.
And then did anything in particular other than like the big Jericho raid that happens shortly after this, where because Connor found Jericho, they use that information to then raid Jericho.
Yep. I get the Jericho raid.
Nothing really special happened with Connor in this section for me. He just kind of joins.
He becomes friends with
he
Markus just like that.
he joins.
What?
He joins the
He's
group.
on your team.
Yeah.
I mean, you need team people.
He's
You
one of
need
your-
people on your side.
He's one of your core four now.
I
Like,
looked at the
huh?
flow chart, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that Connor could have done
Right?
here, but I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
There's a big line that just connects like Connor becomes deviant to like Connor escapes.
Well, I'm assuming if you don't become deviant, then there's
there's
a
a
whole
lot of
host
stuff.
of options
Right.
that don't end up happening.
So at this point, you can die. I think any of your characters can die.
I think everyone can die at this point.
Yeah.
Like I think anyone is fair game. Like
Yeah.
Markus can die.
North
Connor
can die. Kara can die.
Everyone can
Alice
die.
can die.
Luther can die.
Oh
my
my God.
Luther died.
Your Luther died here?
My Luther died here.
He got shot by someone?
He got shot, and then me and Kara and Alice were.
Oh, yes, Luther died for me too.
So Luther gets shot, and then you have the decision to leave him or to keep going. And my mindset was, I have to protect Alice. Luther would want me to protect Alice instead of putting himself in harm's way. So I left Luther, and then he gets shot in the face, and he died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you're Luther, same thing, right?
I think I tried to
'Cause I
save him,
sa-
but
I
I
saved
think
my
it
Luther.
ended it the same way.
I think you can save him, but then you still split paths.
Yeah, we split paths.
Yeah.
I think I saved him.
Because
Yeah.
you pull your Luther into a room and
My
he's
memory
been
is
shot.
garbage. is what I've discovered.
Here's what my Luther did. He got shot. And the option is leave Luther
I
or
left him.
pull him or try and help him.
Right.
And essentially, you just put him in a room in the Jericho ship and you leave him there.
Right.
I didn't leave him.
Yeah. So I left him and he came back later for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So you can try to. You're escaping with Kara. You're flipping between that and Markus trying to save androids as they're being attacked by soldiers. And I don't even remember much with Connor in this section either. He might come into play near the end. North gets shot at, and you have to jump in to try to save her.
Yeah.
I saved North because I'm going to save North.
Yep, same.
And then
Same.
I
did
so
too.
everyone survived. The end of this, except for Luther. Sorry, Luther. But my Connor and Markus left together. My Kara. What ended up happening is as you're escaping Jericho, it's a quick time event where you're button mashing the X button to run away.
From the army who's
shooting at you.
Any android that's moving.
Exactly. So you're pressing the X button real quick. I was mashing it so fast that an option popped up here, and it said, I don't know what it was, but the option I accidentally selected was stop. Instead of, I think there was maybe play dead or jump in the river.
Oh, no, I had play dead.
I had that too.
Okay. I accidentally hit the option of stop running.
Oh, no.
So what ends up happening...
Bye, Kara.
No. So you stop running, you put your arms up, and then they capture you.
Oh.
And the rest of my Kara game is you in the concentration camp.
Stop it.
That's
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, it's real good. Well, you guys, it's real good.
Mine's a lot shorter than this, so I'll say mine.
Yeah, go.
Play dead?
No, we ran.
Okay.
I just ran. I was like, no, I'm this far. I'm just going to run as fast as I can, and whatever happens, happens. And no, we just booked it.
Jump in the river?
No, we got in this little boat.
Oh, you made it way to a boat.
There's like
Okay.
a little motorboat. It's like a little dinghy. Like
Okay,
it's like
gotcha.
nothing big. Made it across the river, but we got shot. Then like the Coast Guard pulls up next to you, and it was like stop or keep going. I was like, just keep going.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
gosh.
And I don't know, Coast Guard something.
Yeah.
Police officers
So
in
you
a
got
boat.
in a boat immediately.
Or was
Yeah.
this later on? Did Rose come and bring you to a boat? Did you get somewhere?
No, this is like at the end. Like we ran out of the Jericho thing.
There's two different spots, I think.
So
Because there's the
think.
ending with her boat
Unless
stuff.
I'm just missing a section.
I think there's a small section because
Oh, you know
you
what?
might run to
You're right.
Rose and Rose
Rose-
takes you to a boat of
You're
some
right.
kind.
yeah.
That is right.
So in this case, you just ran. In my case, I played dead.
Okay.
I
and-
did not play dead.
Literally the most heart-wrenching, like, I was on the edge of my seat just going, please,
Yeah.
please, please.
Don't shoot
So
me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot
The
me.
army guy walks over you, points his gun with a light at you, and then at Alice, and then he's like, oh, must be dead, and then like keeps
Oh,
walking.
wow.
And then you are there, and there's just dead androids all over the place,
Oh.
and you're given the prompt to stand up, and you just walk out.
Interesting.
And that's the end of Kara.
That's
No,
the end
you
of-
still got more car after this.
No, I still get more Kara,
Oh,
but
okay.
like
Of
it's
this section.
later,
Okay,
like at
okay,
the Battle
okay.
of Detroit.
Right.
You're right. I'm mixing up two things.
Yes, I think you are.
I'm combining the
So
the
you ran,
Jericho
but
thing and the
did
end.
you like? So you ran, but you must have made it.
We
to
made it
either-
out.
Well, what happens next with your Kara?
She's in the street and she has to run at the border.
Yeah, we're in the street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're-
So you guys had similar things then.
And
Yeah.
there's like a border
Checkpoint.
checkpoint that you have to make. I did not go through the border checkpoint.
So you went around.
Yes.
Did that?
I took the long way.
Okay. So
I think the three of us got the three different Kara endings
Yes.
because of
Apparently.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's keep going with the rest of it. Though.
So Markus and Connor
are together.
are together.
And I think you have an option to do one more. Like
You can
do you
blow
wanna
up
be
the ship.
Oh yeah, you blew up the ship. I blew up the ship the way and everyone survived.
Yeah.
But then I think you have one more option of like after you meet. I think you're in a big church cathedral of some kind.
Yes.
So I think we're putting this part to bed and saying
yeah.
like Connor and Markus escape by jumping into the water and that's
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
everyone saved everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
the only one who Simon's dead. Everyone else has all 5 characters.
My
plus
Simon's
Connor.
alive. Yep, everyone's
Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
I don't. No, Simon's alive
'Kay.
because I talked to him in the church.
My
So yes.
Simon is dead.
Okay.
Okay.
And my Luther's dead.
And your Luther's dead. Our Luthers are alive.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay, so before the battle for Detroit, there's
Yeah.
this scene in a church
Yep.
where you just go up to every individual character that's still alive and talk to them.
Yep.
Kara's is obviously the most... I don't even know if you have a prompt with her.
Who?
She's just like with Kara.
Oh, she's not
No,
there
you-
for
you
me.
can-
Kara's in the church for me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
She's not
I
there for me.
talked to her.
No,
Yeah.
my car is captured.
Right.
So I didn't have that.
Oh
Yeah.
no, Markus. I
But it
talked
was
to her as
nothing.
Markus. No, honestly, they were all nothing.
I don't even know if she had a prompt. But a lot of them were like, yo, bro, like, we're good, right?
Basically.
Doesn't matter what you think or what I think. Let's just get it done.
Did you guys actually start a relationship with North?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yes.
wifed
Okay.
up.
Yes.
I wifed up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are like actually in a relationship, like
Yes.
in love or whatever.
we
Yeah,
kiss.
they like
Lovers. I think
labeled
it's
you as a lover.
lovers or
Yes.
something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Like it's your first relationship with your 13. Go ahead.
I'm looking at my notes and that I took while playing the game. Yes, Luther died.
Oh, okay. He did die.
Okay.
Yes, in the whole running out of the boat thing.
Gotcha.
Just didn't remember that. I may have left him.
And the running out of the boat thing. Okay,
The
so we do the
Jericho.
church in Jericho. Okay, we get the church thing where you're given two options.
Yeah.
Revolution
Or peaceful protest.
yeah. So what did you pick?
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protests.
I want
It's the way to get it
start a
done.
war.
I wanted to
no.
like F things up, but no, I stuck with my peaceful protests.
Which
This
is
is my
really-
mission to make them accept us.
Which is
Yeah.
really
This is
like
the way.
anticlimactic
It
a little
was.
bit.
It did feel it a little bit.
In that, like, you're like, it feels like you're supposed to start a war and
Yeah.
you don't. And you're just like, we're going to calmly go walk up to
Yeah.
the concentration camp and
the
we're
way it
going to tell
happens.
them. Like, it's very.
Yes.
I
You feel like you need
If
to.
I was following
throw
Marcus,
down.
I would have a hard time
Yeah.
following that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were talking about
Be like,
revolution. You were talking
absolutely.
about us, like we are
Right.
alive, we are human,
And we're just going to go
we're
and
just gonna-
talk again? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But
Action.
it works, but like it just, yeah. It
So what
didn't-
happens? Because I start a war. What happens with you guys?
Okay. So we do another peaceful march up to the camp. It's like the recycling camp, or
Yeah.
that's where they're bringing all the androids, and people are, because at this point, sentiment. The president and stuff has started like saying you've got to like submit your androids to like the government so we can get rid of them because
And there's
they're
like
all
a
faulty.
president press conference too, where
Yeah.
she answers questions from the press.
Yeah,
and
which
you
was
can,
interesting.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It's like you
Yeah.
get to pick the questions you want to have
Right,
answered.
exactly.
And there's only maybe 3 or 4 you can get answered.
I'm like, I'm gonna throw hardballs. Like, just try. And it did it work? But-
What about your relationship with CyberLife?
Yeah, exactly. And so my peaceful protest, they sit and they just sat there in front of the camp where they're like, there's a bunch of armed guards and everything like that between them and the camp.
Yep.
And they're there to say, release them. We're not moving until you do. Right. They build a little barricade. My Connor doesn't do anything much at this point, but they build a barricade and everything like that. Connor gets sent on a mission to go to CyberLife.
Yep. To go to CyberLife headquarters to basically activate
Yes.
all the and I think you're actually given an option there to either do that where you go to CyberLife to activate like a whole bunch of reinforcements that
Right,
can help you,
exactly.
or like nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked to go to CyberLife. You did
You
not.
seem-
I didn't do that at all.
Interesting.
I
So
don't
what
remember
did,
any of that.
What did Connor just follow Marcus in the protest?
Yeah,
Did you have any kind of resolution to the end of Connor's story?
not really. He was just with them, and that was it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I at least got some like Connor like resolution here.
Did
Maybe
you get
that's
some-
why I'm a little less attached to him.
Maybe.
Because he was just like, I'm... What,
You didn't get your finality with Hank?
Nothing?
what was the finality?
Oh, boy.
Okay, so let's
I don't
let's
think I
talk
did.
about
Sorry,
Connor.
we're
were
like
good
jumbled.
friends.
We're getting jumbled. Here,
we
so
were good friends.
We were good friends.
Tell me about the protest, and then we'll talk about the CyberLife thing because that happens in both stories,
Right.
and then I'll tell you about the war.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the protest, nothing major happens there. You get the offer to like the guy offers you like, hey, a negotiator guy.
Who's the negotiator for the
The
U.S.
Yeah,
government?
Yeah.
you walk out to meet someone from the government.
Yeah.
As like, hey, come out here. We're going to talk about this.
and he offers you a deal.
And then people are like, don't do it. They're just going to shoot you. And I was like, no, I got to go out and talk to him.
Right.
So yeah, we went out
you
and
go,
talked to him.
You go listen to his offer. He's pretty much like, I'll
Yeah.
protect you and whoever you want, but you have
Nonsense.
to leave now. And it's like, and
I called bull.
Yeah, it's bull. And so you leave. And then you just like go back. And that in turn starts them. They start shooting. They start attacking. And you just have to like at this point survive.
Yeah. You're just kind of holed up in the square in your little circle. And they kind of
Attack and
just
Marcus just
come in
runs
and try
around and
and
tries to
kill you.
protect people and everything like that. But I'm at the very end of the game, so we should jump to CyberLife because if I say any more, it's gonna mess up where my CyberLife stuff happens.
We talk about CyberLife now.
So,
Yeah.
so
Connor.
my ending had nothing to do with CyberLife.
Oh, interesting.
Basically, they just corner you, and it's like, this is it. They've shot most people.
Okay.
There's like maybe 8 of you left.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
they're
I've
all
watched
just
this
coming
ending.
up on you, and then it's giving you the choice of
Dirty bomb.
No.
That might have been an option, but I didn't pick that.
So way before you get handed
I did get
a remote.
Oh, I denied it right off the
I
bat.
denied it too.
Oh no, I took
Yeah.
it.
No,
Basically, North hands you a remote and says like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we captured
We
this
can
guy
blow this all up."
who
Yeah.
Yeah.
got a radioactive
No, I turned that
cobalt truck.
Yeah.
He rigged it to blow. Insurance policy."
yeah.
Yeah, no, I turned it away immediately.
So in this case, if you're at the bus, you are given the option to blow up Detroit
No.
with
Oh
a
my
radioactive
gosh.
cobalt bomb, or
Nope.
not blow it up.
Oh no, and then I got other. I think fight. I got.
Do you remember what option you picked?
I picked sing.
Oh, interesting.
So
I
there
knew
was
that existed, but I didn't know how you get to it.
Which felt passive, but like an action. Like, because I think there was like a do nothing. There was something that was more nothing than that. And there was a fight one, and then there was something about singing, and I was like, yeah, okay. So it, basically, you just together sing like this song of like
Revolution.
"We're alive" type of thing. Like, it was pretty. It was like, you know,
Nothing.
something to do with life and like living and being together. It was very like protest, like happy protest
Right.
kind of song, and it was nice. And then they didn't shoot us, and then because there was like helicopters flying around with cameras and
They
stuff.
didn't shoot you.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
No, there was helicopters around, and people. They were like the news stations were filming it, and then it was like, oh, this weird thing's happening, and then they lowered their guns. And then we survived.
Sing was not an option for me. It was something you had to unlock. I don't know what you might have triggered to unlock it, but the option I went with was kiss. And you kiss north.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
It
do
was
that.
the worst option, but it worked.
That was another one that I was like, no, that's lame. I'm going to kiss her and die. I was like, no.
I kissed north.
It's also so, dude.
Listen, and this is also, I kissed north. It immediately goes to a shot of the president, and the president's like, oh. And then
They're kissing.
and then calls off the troops.
Stop.
Because
yeah,
they
okay,
kiss.
Sing was better.
Love conquers all.
The end.
The end. No, but then there is a small part in play with the CyberLife stuff, but that's essentially how I got out of the revolution.
Okay. CyberLife.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to CyberLife.
On Belle Isle.
Yep. As Deviant Connor.
Yep.
And you have to sneak your way in by pretending to be regular. Hi, I'm Connor from CyberLife.
Yes.
And
I'm the android from CyberLife.
yeah, and you're essentially going there so that way you can convert thousands of androids so that they have more people
To join the war.
Right. So essentially, what happens is you fight your way down, regardless of how you get down.
You're
there.
in an elevator scene, which reminds me a lot of Captain America and
Yes,
the Winter Soldier.
There's an elevator scene where you kind of like beat the guards up while you're in the elevator. It's pretty cool.
And you have to do it before. So you're going up to meet someone at CyberLife, and you have to do it before you get to level 39 or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're on a timer, but not like a numerical timer where you're like, I need to beat these guards down, get down to the warehouse at minus 49 before I get up to 39.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you're playing with the like
You
elevator
look
and
so
the speed.
puzzled, Katie.
So confused. I'm having, as I've said multiple times, my memory's garbage. And now I'm imagining this thing that I don't know if I'm just imagining or if I'm remembering.
Oh.
So we're just, I'm going to let you keep going.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm going to see if I remember doing
if you're
this.
successful, you get down there, and you essentially, as you're about to go and convert some of like it's literally like the sea of androids just kind of standing there.
Yep.
And as you're about to go convert one, Hank walks out with an evil Connor with a gun pointed at him.
Yep.
No, I did not do this. I definitely did not do
An
this.
evil Connor that tricked Hank, and he's like, I knew it wasn't you. Like,
Yep.
because yeah,
Yep.
and he's got a gun pointed to him, and the options you're given is sacrifice Hank or convert the army.
Oh my God.
Your Yeah, your mouth is
your
a gate.
face.
I don't
oh
know
my god.
yeah. Also, I
You
can't
should have gone to CyberLife.
FOMO, man. I missed out on this thing because I did the wrong thing.
You need to go back and watch the CyberLife Hank thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did your Hank thing play out?
So I said sacrifice Hank.
Okay, me too.
So I said like convert
Yes,
the army.
convert,
So you
sacrifice
start
Hank.
to convert,
Yep.
and evil Connor's like a mother. Like he
Yeah.
he
'Cause
shoots
he's a
Hank,
robot.
He shoots Hank, then he shoots you.
Yep.
Not once, but multiple times,
Mm-hmm.
and your components start to fail, and it's like fail, shut down 10 minutes, and then he shoots you some more, and it's
Oh
like
my
shut down in less than a minute. So then you're
Yeah.
given an option.
So as the bad Connor is getting closer and closer to you, you have the option to grab him, and you grab him.
I am on the edge of my seat.
And you grab him and you transfer your consciousness into bad Connor's body and swap minds with him. So bad Connor is in good Connor's body dying, and you flip-flop.
See, that's a new thing.
Yeah.
You're flip-flopping at the very end. That's kind of weird.
But the thing
oh my
is-
God.
But you're into it.
I'm so into it.
It makes sense if you knew that Connor's consciousness was always being transferred over when he died. Because what was happening, if you died in the hostage...
Oh, right.
It's not like you're a new Connor. You're a Connor with all of the information that happened before.
Yeah,
Your
you're the same
relationship with
Connor.
Hank is the same. Your consciousness is being transferred over to the next Connor after you die.
Right.
The thing, it came out of left field for me because I never had a moment like that.
Right, 'cause you went back and
I
saved him.
restarted. Yeah, I saved scum. Yeah,
I killed him another time. I forget
Yeah.
how, but he
Hank-
died twice for me.
But Hank's dead.
yeah. So what ends up?
Sorry.
So
Oh my God.
So yeah, Hank is dying on the floor. You go over to him. There's not much you can do. He's proud of you, which is like super emotional and gut wrenching.
Yeah.
And he says like, at least I get to be with my son now.
No wonder Connor was your favorite.
It's
Yeah,
really
right?
emotional. And
Right?
like, you know what? I'm sure there's a way that you could have saved Hank in this case. But I think this, you know what? Hank is suicidal. It's like, at least
he was going to do it
No,
anyway.
But I mean, no,
Woof.
I mean, no, listen. And what I mean is that it's an okay death because he's ready for it.
Is he?
In that,
You can tell yourself whatever you need to do.
I'm upset that he died. But it's not something that I'm like, I have to go back and redo this
No,
and save
it's-
Hank because everyone
right.
has to survive at the end. It's like,
And doesn't he say, like, I'm proud of you, like, go get him, like, go
exactly.
get your
He
equal rights at the end? I was
legit-
like, yes,
yeah.
Hank!
He's all for it. So you go and then you bond with the androids and you have an army. So right as the kiss happened between Marcus and North is when my army of androids show up to help save the day.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
None of that.
And see, the war scene for me is like a very... I wonder how you would have done it, because, like... Or not how you would have
This
done
is the
it.
one thing I might go back and replay the square where you like set up your demonstration
Yeah.
and the end and do it the non-pacifist way.
Yeah.
And see
That
where
is the
diff-
one thing I think I kind of want to go back and do.
just to see how big
Yes.
the difference it is.
Because imagine there's like a 1 mile long battlefield, and as Marcus, you have like android companions at your sides, and you're moving from cover to cover.
Interesting.
Like you're clicking like square button to move to cover.
Yeah, I wanna play
but
that.
first you have to like tell your androids that are even more to the left to like give you covering fire while you move between different. And there's like
So it's like-
there's like at least 10 QTE sequences
Yeah.
where Marcus like beats up on the U.S. military.
it's
and,
like one of those
murders
army
him every
games
time
where you
Yeah.
like pretty much move your squads around and stuff.
It like from a like a direction standpoint,
Yeah.
imagine like Gears of War.
Interesting.
From like a camera perspective, but obviously it's a QTE heavy game
Right.
where like you're actually not moving your character. You're just telling them, hey, hit square, go to that cover. Hey, go to that cover.
Right.
And I think you can die as well.
I'm sure you can.
Oh, I'm sure there's
at that
multiple
point,
ways,
like
yeah.
yeah.
But I get all the way to the end, and I think you essentially get to the end and you convince
You
them
win?
you win, or you
Interesting.
convince them to surrender, and that
Just because you're winning?
yeah, you get to like a central point.
you probably
at
get
the-
all your android backups and there's
Yeah.
nothing they can really do about.
Right.
Exactly. And that's when they just give up, and they're going to give you the right to like negotiate, and they're going to be equal people. And President Warren comes on, and she's like, "Yeah, there's an assault in Detroit, and they won." And
See,
it's
that's the
blah,
thing.
blah, 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 blah.
But you won your rights by
By force.
Right.
If you hadn't won, you wouldn't be getting it.
Yep.
Right.
So the aspect
it's not earned, and
it's
they
not
haven't
earned
changed
by
their
empathy.
mind. It-
They're
yeah.
just like, oh, you're the. It's
You haven't
because-
changed their mind.
It's because you're stronger.
Yes.
So they're like, I guess we have to.
Yeah.
Not because they want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is tricky.
Yeah.
But like,
So yeah, mine was just like they've given Detroit them that territory-ish kind of stuff.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
cool.
like I think they said like you can pretty much like you have like this space. I think you get this space for like
it's a Detroit.
safe haven of some kind, and that's kind of how like my game ends with Marcus. And then the very very end, there is a sequence that brings Amanda back in with the Connor stuff.
Yeah. So imagine that Marcus and Connor and North and whoever you have are standing on a dumpster or like a big container, and they're giving a
big speech at the very end.
at Hart Plaza in Detroit. And
Saying
Marcus,
like, hey, we did it, blah, blah, blah. They've given us a step in the right direction and everything like that, and they're willing to
didn't
work
do
with
any
us.
of
and all of a sudden you look at Connor, and Connor, you go into Connor's mind from there.
Into that area. So when you would interact with Amanda,
Okay.
and, you know, his handler,
Yeah.
you go into that space, and she's like, you failed me.
yeah.
Like,
except that was the plan all along.
Right.
That you have to become a deviant to get you close to the leader, and then you're going to kill him.
yeah. So you...
Amanda?
Yeah.
Amanda's like, yeah, you're going to kill the leader of the Android Revolution.
Essentially, your whole goal this time was to become deviant.
How did I miss so much stuff?
So your whole goal was, Connor, was to become deviant so that you could get closer to
so
the
you're
deviant
right up next to
leader.
Markus?
Or that was like plan B.
Exactly.
That's messed up.
Yeah. So yeah, Amanda's like super, like, she's not happy with you, or like if you keep becoming, like, getting more and more deviant, Amanda keeps being more and more angry with you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, ha ha ha, this is the plan all along. And then so there's like a little mini sequence where you are in that kind of Zen garden area, and you have to crawl your way to like a handprint and press your hand on it in order to prevent Connor from enacting his protocol
From
to shoot.
CyberLife taking control and essentially
See,
shooting.
your Connor playthrough was a lot more interesting than mine.
Yeah, and Kamsky had said all along that I always leave an emergency exit in my programs.
Exactly, and that
I
was
did
the
wonder
emergency.
about that.
Yeah,
And that's the
emergency exit.
But
So-
because if you don't, you shoot Marcus.
That's messed up.
What happened? Did you
I don't remember what happened.
did you play the multiple endings
no,
there?
but
or-
I watched that one.
Oh,
I
so
just
you don't
Oh,
remember.
so I don't remember which one you actually played through and which one you watched?
I did it where Connor found the emergency exit.
Oh,
and
nice. Okay.
it was
Oh, okay.
fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I watched a lot of them after the fact.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's what we've covered for the two main characters.
Yeah. So
The two main characters of the game.
oh no.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Ouch.
they would have killed her 2 hours in, so I
Yeah.
can't argue that point.
No.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Given that we can say, and that's the end of the game now,
Yep.
means
No.
did Kara stuff really matter? But I am very interested to hear how both of your Kara's playthroughs ended, because mine was like heart wrenching.
Oh wow, really?
I think we had the same one.
No.
I think we had the
No,
same
I
I
was
think
captured.
You and I have the same one.
Oh,
He's
right.
in a
You were
concentration
captured. I forgot
camp.
about that.
Yeah.
So
I'm in a camp.
You're given two options when you get to the Detroit
Yours was
Windsor
real
border.
dark, wasn't it?
It was.
You either get on a bus
Okay.
or you find Rose, like you're at the border, you get on the bus, but you need a ticket, and they're checking every single person with a gun that shows, like, are you an android or are
right.
you a human? Or you find Rose, and she takes you to a boat to go across the Detroit River into Canada. The thing I was done, and Jessica was watching me, and she just called me such an idiot. There's a family that drops tickets onto the bus.
I know. I gave them back too.
So did I. So you're
Because I
given
felt
your
so
escape
terrible.
Oh.
ticket. And it's the last
So-
bus out of Detroit.
yeah.
And a woman just out of her bag comes 3 tickets.
It's
one
like
for
this
Luther.
family. So it's this husband, wife, and a kid. And they're like, oh no, we have to make it across for, I forget. They have some pressing reason why
Yeah.
they need to. It's not life or death.
Yeah.
But it's a pressing reason. And their tickets drop out of the bag, and you pick them up, and you can either keep them
To
and get
across.
across
Okay.
with you and Alice, or you can be like, hey, here's your tickets.
Yeah.
You drop them out of your bag.
Oh my gosh.
I kept them
that
the
was a
first
hard,
time.
hard decision.
I kept them the first time, but another prompt comes up to say, like, hey, I lied. Here are your tickets. And the first time I said, I'm going to keep these, but the second time
I
I'm
gave
like,
them back right away.
I gave them back on the second time. So and I'm
Interesting.
with
This
Luther,
is like
too.
the most righteous I've been in a video game that I felt bad. I was like, well,
I don't know why I did it.
I don't.
Jessica's like, you're such an idiot. This is your ticket out, and your literal ticket out, and you didn't take it.
It felt
Too
I don't
easy.
know.
It didn't feel earned. It
Yeah.
feel like why am I taking someone else's?
And they just happened to drop them out, and I picked them up, and like I don't know, it just didn't feel.
so
good.
we both went with Rose, right?
Yeah.
To a boat.
Yes.
And I'm with Luther, Alice, and Kara.
but your Luther's
There's no Luther.
dead. Interesting.
And you're put on a boat, and this boat is like, you're talking as you're going across the Detroit River, what you're going to do when you get over to
Yeah.
Canada.
Oh my God, don't talk about it yet.
Kara's like, I'm going to read books. And Alice is like, I'm just going to do all the fun things. I'm going to eat. I'm going to be a kid, blah, blah, blah. And that's when things go super south.
That's when the
Coast
Coast
Guard.
Guard shows up next
Yep.
to you. And it's like,
Please
stop the boat.
stop this boat right now, or else we'll shoot.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
job.
Thanks.
Yeah, I gunned it.
Oh, you gunned it?
Yeah.
And did you get
You
shot?
stopped?
No, I gunned it, but I got shot.
Who got shot?
Or did I try and surrender? I don't know what happened, but I got shot up real bad.
So I gunned it. Alice got shot. I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. So I gunned it too, and my Alice got shot, and my Luther got killed.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Is
he would've
Alice-
died a while ago.
is
so
Alice
that makes
dead?
sense. So you get to the shore.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I got to the shore.
Oh,
you died?
So how did you get to the shore, though?
I just kept going.
You kept paddling?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what happened to me is I had to push Luther off into the water. Because my boat got
He's a big guy.
My boat got filled with holes, and my boat started sinking.
Oh, see, I was tossing up meaningless stuff, not a person.
Oh my god!
So I had to toss it. So essentially, a timer shows up, and it's like,
Yeah.
your boat will sink in 3 minutes.
Yes, I tossed
and
off,
Alice
like, a
will
little
die
box.
in 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because Alice is like, I feel cold. And she's going to die in 10 until she shuts down.
Yeah.
Luther's super dead. And you have 3 minutes until your boat sinks. So I started pushing off all the things, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't enough weight.
I would have pushed him off too, man.
Oh my
He's
gosh!
Dead.
Yeah, and one thing they establish is if you put your finger in the water beforehand and you establish that the water's at 30.3 Fahrenheit, which at that temperature, any android that goes in the water, their biocomponents will freeze in a minute.
Oh my gosh!
So I got out as Alice. I got out of the boat as Kara and started pushing the boat as Kara in the water.
with Luther out of it.
With Luther out of it and with Alice in the boat.
No, I did that too.
Yeah.
But you didn't have Luther to worry about dead weight.
That's true.
But I pushed Luther off. So we're pushing.
Yeah, I know.
insane.
I pushed.
And a timer comes up where it's like your biocomponents will freeze in a minute.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh!
I know. I did that too.
Yeah. So you push the boat, and you get to shore, and it's great. And Alice is in your arms, and she dies.
He died.
Oh my god!
And your last option in the game is go on living, or stop, or suicide,
Or shut it down.
Yeah, or shut down.
What did you guys choose?
I got up and walked, man.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Because like shit happens, but
Yeah, but the other option is you go, if you take the bus ticket, you literally cross the border, and a guy at the border through the window scans you and realizes that you're an android.
And kills you?
No. And
this
you mouth,
is-
oh, you're in Canada.
Yeah, and you mouth, you're like, just please, we just want to be free.
Yes,
We just
but
want to be
this-
free.
Does
this happen in yours?
No, but I watched a video, and this is specific. She says we just want to be free. If you're a peaceful protest with Markus, the guy sees the TV screen, sees it's a peaceful protest, and he lets you through.
Then you win empathy from people, and
if
people
he
like
sees
you
that it's a violent
Yeah.
protest, you get killed.
because he thinks you're going to kill you. You're going to kill him.
Yep.
That's wild.
That makes sense.
You had to have a peaceful protest. I saw this because
There
I was
has-
interested in. But you guys didn't even get that ending. That
No.
was the ending because I was like, I typed in like Kara, good ending, and I guess that's the best ending because everyone survived and you
Yeah.
had a peaceful protest. You guys must have had a middle of the ground ending.
Because there has to be a result from you winning favor
Yeah.
with the population. Because
And
as
that's
you're
it.
more peaceful, your favor goes up. It keeps on showing that like you're gaining favor with everyone, that they're not hostile towards you, that they're sympathetic,
Yeah.
and things like that. So
you guys
that
must have
makes
gotten
sense.
the worst ending. I think
What?
for Kara. I
Oh,
think
with Kara, she lives.
To me, the
I
worst
think that's
would
pretty
be
good ending.
she shuts down.
She dies.
yes, but
There's like
Out of-
90 endings.
Again,
you can get.
I was fine with
Out
Alice
of-
dying. I really didn't care. I was like, oh, she's dead.
no, out of
Keep
the
going,
like,
man.
Kara living scenarios, you probably got the worst one.
Probably.
Yeah. So what happened to you?
So
Yes.
at Jericho we got captured.
Yep.
And you essentially get put on a bus.
Yep.
And you show up at a concentration camp.
Yep.
And they tell you to get off the bus. You got to get up. You got to get off the bus.
Yep.
You have to get off the bus, and they tell you take off your clothes. And so they send all the like androids into a room. You have to take off your clothes, and you have to remove your skin, and you're only like they're pretty much dehumanizing every part of you.
Right.
So you're just your white android body. They
Do
make
you have to remove it, or do you have to just like snap it and make
you
it
take your
hide?
clothes off, and then you have to make the decision.
Your skin
take your
off.
skin off.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Because they like image their skin
Yes.
on, and they can take it off.
Exactly.
and
So
they're
you're just your white android
plastic.
body. It's gut wrenching because you also have to do this with Alice. So like
That's
she's upset
weird.
and she's like, "Come on, you have to take off your clothes," and then she's like shivering and cold. But then she's like, "No, you have to take your skin off."
That's really hard.
It's hard. And then she's upset, and so she has to take. And you see her as an android for the first time, like
Yeah.
fully android. And then so you're kind of pushed along into the concentration camp. They separate you two. You're given some options. Like I think you can kind of try to escape here and leave Alice, which I'm like, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But so you're separated into two separate sides of the camp. And essentially what you're doing is everyone's getting lined up to get put onto transports to recycle you. These transports you go on, it disassembles you and takes your parts away and stuff. So I'm in line, and it's horrifying. It's everyone is in a camp. There's people lying on the ground. People are getting beaten up for not behaving, and they're all in line. And your goal is to like find Alice, and you have an Alice stress meter.
Oh, weird.
So you have to manage Alice's stress so that she doesn't freak out and cause a scene, right? So you see her from across the way, and you're like, Alice, you have to calm down. She sees you, and she's like about to run through, but there's like sensors over top, and there's guards with lights, and they're watching. So you have to like she's like, no, don't move. You have to stay put. And it's extremely stressful because you actually have to look for Kara, step forward when they tell you to step forward because they keep bringing you closer and closer to this recycling thing.
God.
Essentially, this is where Ralph comes back into play for me, and Jerry, and the monster androids from Zlatko.
See, they all ended
Really?
back when they
Yeah.
ended. They didn't come back.
So you have to you're looking for a way to get to Alice, and you see Ralph in the distance, and you can communicate like kind of telepathically, like just like whatever. And Ralph wants to make sure the little girl is safe. Ralph doesn't want the little girl to be hurt or anything like that. And she's like, Ralph, I can't ask you to do this. And he's like, no, Ralph will do it. If Ralph may be gone, but as long as the little girl is safe, it's all that matters. So Ralph goes and creates a distraction to the guards so that Kara can cross the laneway to get to Alice.
Aww.
And Ralph ends up dying. And
I just want to know where's this going?
so there's
Sorry.
there's barbed wire along the side, and you see you can kind
Jacob is
of.
very intent. He is
I know.
thrilled.
Oh, I know. So you see barbed. You're like, there's my escape, right? So you need another distraction because you can't just leave the line at this point.
Right.
So you send Jerry to.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and Jerry creates a distraction because Jerry's like
Jerry or Jerry's?
one of the Jerrys.
Okay.
A Jerry that got captured. So that's the thing. Everyone is in robot attire.
right.
So everyone you happen to see Jerry and he offers to help you and stuff.
Right.
Distracts. You run to this barbed wire. She pulls it open, lets Alice jump through, and then a guard sees you, and you have the option to protect Alice or flee. I'm going to protect
You're
Alice.
in this deep.
I'm in this deep. I'm going to protect Alice. You then end up having a fist fight with this guard, and you have to protect yourself. And you could easily die at any moment in these things. And I end up choking out the guard and killing him. And then I get through. We get onto a transport truck that is taking things to the dump. You play dead. You wake up in the middle of a dump well after all of this is done, in the wreckage of everything. And you wake up, and then you find Alice, and you wake up Alice, and then you guys go off.
This is why
But
Travis
you're still in the
liked
US.
Kara.
You're still in the U.S. But yeah, my Kara
because
survived.
he had a much better Kara.
I had a really traumatic, it was super emotional.
That's a lot.
The car,
Yeah.
it was gut wrenching, and the metaphors there just speak for themselves. But it's the amount, the things that were being done to them was just terrible, and I really just put myself in that position, right? So that's why I really loved the Kara stuff because it just felt so gut wrenching to me. I wish I'd gotten the great best Kara ending, but I think because of this.
That's a good Kara ending.
It is good. It's good, but she had to go through
Yes.
terrible things to
Right.
get
That makes
to it,
it
right?
more
I guess you can
impactful.
actually have Luther survive with you in this case. If you got him to this point, but you all got captured,
Right.
this can happen too. Or you
Yeah.
can sacrifice Luther and also have him make a distraction.
Luther can die in the street on the way to the border too.
Oh
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Yeah,
This is just dead weight.
Oh, Luther.
Yeah,
Luther.
so that was my Kara ending, and I loved it, but it was difficult to get through.
There was a thing that I found to be very true to life. That was when people are being abusive towards a group of people, they dehumanize them. That's what they
Yes.
do with any kind of genocide that happens in history. That's
Yes.
what they do. They use dehumanizing words.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, they're roaches or
Right.
they're vermin. They're
Right.
not like you. They're not people like
That's the thing.
you.
They're robots in this case.
In this case, yes, they're robots. They're not
They're
human.
objects.
They're
Exactly.
objects. They're not like you. We have to get rid of them.
They're property.
In order to overcome, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really, it was harsh and true to how the
I think it
world
kind of
goes.
like it really like drove home the point.
Yes.
Of, like my play,
That we do this
my
all the
ending,
time.
Marcus's thing really drove home the point. This is what we're trying to prevent from happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I felt my Kara story worked in the grand scheme of things, even though like you could easily have a story like Kara's story that meant absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
in the
Right,
grand scheme
and
of
that's
things.
kind of what happened, at least for me. I'm like,
Right.
everything I did, none of it had consequences. But
Right.
for you, like, you made nice with a lot of different androids,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they helped you
Along
through
the
a
way.
terrible situation.
Yeah, exactly. So
I guess that's why I felt the way I felt about Kara.
Yeah.
But still, damsel in distress a bit. I
oh, for
just-
sure.
Yeah.
But she liberated herself.
But then
Yep.
there was like Marcus was like I'm gonna lead the rebellion, but like
Yeah.
he didn't care aside from Carl. He didn't really care about anything. I mean, North a little bit, but I
Yeah,
don't
even
know.
the stuff with North was very
It was kind of
superficial.
surfacey.
Yeah,
It didn't.
yeah.
It didn't
do
hit
anything.
home at all.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get the good Connor ending. Like it was just
yeah.
like, oh, he broke free. Now that's over. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
all I got. So I was like, all right.
Yeah,
He
anticlimactic
followed his
a bit.
orders until he didn't, and then that was the end.
Right.
So I didn't really get a lot from
Right. In the
any
end.
of them. A
There's,
ton.
there's one final choice that I think that we end on this, and it's actually a really cool thing that I think it's just like a really cool thing in the menu.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, with Chloe.
Yes.
So throughout the game, Chloe says some really creepy things to you sometimes. I played this game like at Christmas, so she's like, "Hey, happy holidays!"
No way.
Oh, wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
Happy holidays. Welcome to Detroit. Yeah, she says some stuff depending
That's
on
nuts.
what the time is, and then at one point she asks you to answer a survey.
I did
Yes,
the
I did
love
the
the
survey.
surveys, yeah.
There were some
and-
tricky ones in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it's always cool. What's cool in both the flowcharts and in the survey, you can see how your friends answered and
Yeah.
how the world answered.
Interesting.
And in there's a lot of people that didn't believe in God. That's one thing where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
huh.
That was
that's a-
like 50. Like it was.
It was
pretty-
more.
It was,
It was like
I don't
it was
know.
like 30% of people didn't, and 30% of people didn't know.
Right.
So like over half were like either there is a God, or I don't know, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, she's like, "Hey, I saw what happened to all these characters. Are you going to let me free now? Are you going to let me be free?"
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Obviously,
sure.
yeah. Do you know
For
what
sure.
happens if you don't?
No.
what happened?
She sings the song, I think the same song, and she says, "I'm going to erase myself because I can't bear to like
Oh, my God.
knowing what I know, I can't perform my duty, so I'm just going to erase myself. So while I
That's
do
messed
that,
up.
I'm going to sing this song," and then she erases herself, and it's like you started over.
Oh,
completely with
my
her.
gosh.
So then she's back in the menu like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
oh
Oh,
god,
that's so like, oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I
Right?
hate that.
Right?
That's intense. Yeah, no, the survey was cool.
Yeah, I
Because
really.
it was just
there's
some interesting
multiple
questions
surveys.
that I had to think about. Some of them I just knew, but then some of them I had to think about.
Doesn't
really
she
hard.
ask you a question at one point, which is just a yes or no question that has no impact on, like, do you believe androids should be free? She just asks you that question,
Yeah.
and it's a yes or no. Mm-hmm. That was like a really cool little touch.
I'd like that the menu in itself was interactive
Yes.
and itself was a game as well. Like it was a very cool
Yeah.
little touch.
I
Yeah,
don't
those
think of another instance where that happened.
I can't think of anything
Like, that's the
that.
coolest menu thing I've ever think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, where it came back around to actually be.
Impact,
Yes.
like, the thing in the menu that...
My like Chloe would comment like, I can't believe Luther died. Like she would
Yep.
she would make comments like that too.
Like, she
didn't
was
say anything
watching,
like that
like,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Or
it's
like,
really
wow,
sad that-
Marcus.
yeah. She would make some comments and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I think I just fired it up and went in, and then
Oh, really?
I didn't like go back to the menu much at all.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a little. I got like the survey and
Yeah.
that option at the end.
Watch a video of that when you don't erase her, because I
Yeah.
think even if you erase her, she starts to look weird. Like, she
Oh.
looks down
Yeah.
at the like, imagine that she's looking down at your floor. It's just very
that's
bizarre.
trippy.
Yeah.
She's just like processing.
Yeah, it's almost like the whole time she's processing.
Now she's like seeing things.
Mhm. Or that she knows, like, she's having to repress what it's really cool.
That's
Oh.
creepy.
Yeah.
Oy.
Graphics and sound of this game. We've talked for a long time, but we haven't really addressed the graphics and the sound.
Beautiful.
There are 3 soundtracks for
Yeah.
each character.
I didn't listen to them, but they're
No,
cool. I'm
they're
sure
fine.
they were probably great.
And the graphics? What do you think
Wonderful.
of the faces? Faces good?
Faces were good.
They were really good.
Yep.
They weren't the performances weren't as I would like them to be, a little bit more emotional.
Technology or actor? I think it's technology.
I don't know. There was some Markus things that I was like, you're just kind of dead in the end. Like, there's not a
Yeah.
lot going on there. Even just emoting,
Yeah.
just something,
But
a
Hank,
feeling.
I found emoted.
Hank was which it also played into my feeling that the androids were less human than the humans because Hank was emotive the whole
Yeah.
time. And then, I mean, Connor, that was the whole thing was
Yeah.
that he was very flat. But then Markus was the same thing. He did not emote a lot.
Yeah, so that could have been writing or direction.
I think it was more direction. I think the acting was great.
Yeah.
I think he did what he was trying to do very well. Like the acting was great. Probably directing and writing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't believe that they were feeling
What they
things
were-
that
yeah.
Yeah,
much.
they thought they were feeling, but that was a computer code that was telling them to feel a certain
It was kind of
way,
like that.
which was probably direction from
I
Cage.
think so. That they were like, no, but you're a robot, so
Yeah.
like be a little bit more robotic.
Yeah, be plastic.
Yeah.
But like be human, but be plastic.
Yeah, which doesn't really play in
It's
the
great
middle.
direction. So before we close the episode, just two more short segments that I want to go through. First, the discourse related to the game and the developer of the game. I think we have to just touch on it to kind of because it does help
Acknowledge it.
It does. Yeah, I think we have to acknowledge it. So the first is the allegations against Quantic Dream that are kind of came up last year. I found an article from The Guardian where they were accused of a toxic and sexist working environment. I think it was reporting started from La Presse, and then it kind of got picked up more widely about some of the allegations towards both David Cage and his other co-founder, Guillaume Defomier, about allegations of them turning a blind eye towards racist, sexist, and homophobic elements that had kind of been shared in images around the studio. Kind of just have to acknowledge that given some of the discourse around David Cage and his past games. They deny it, but I think we just kind of need to mention that as something that had happened.
Yep. Definitely.
And then also around Ellen Page and something that happened with Beyond Two Souls, where without her permission, they modeled a naked version of her character model that could be accessed using a PlayStation 3 debug console. So
Interesting.
some stuff where it's just kind of
it's
messed up.
It's a little messed up.
It's messed up.
But beyond that, specifically beyond that, for this game, there's a lot of discourse in the gaming journalism field around the treatment of African Americans in this game, as well as women. I specifically want to point out Evan Narcissus, who wrote for Gizmodo, The Casual Inhumanity of How Detroit Become Human Uses Black Culture. What he found is that not only many of the engagement, this is a direct quote, many of the engagement strategies and much of the modern iconography around latter-day movements for equal rights comes from the 1860s civil rights movement, but also that Luther is just a tropey, big, black, scary guy.
Right.
That's literally what he wrote, that both Alice and Kara got scared the first time they saw him.
Right.
And that's a very tropey thing in media that maybe shouldn't be. This is like... that maybe shouldn't be done all the time because it's done to death. And then more specifically, Heather Alexandra from Kotaku, her article, David Cage Games Keep Treating Women Like S-word for poop. Essentially a direct quote from there. Male protagonists are occasionally bound and tortured in these games as well, but Cage consistently drags his female characters into compromising positions where loathsome men enact their power over them for the sheer sake of drama.
This could literally be summed up into Kara's storylines. Like with Todd, with Zlatko, everything that she goes through is kind of like that.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I felt that way about Kara's story, is that as I was going through this, I kind of looked, because obviously David Cage has this reputation of like, everyone's like, either David Cage is a genius, or like, David Cage needs to get some writers with a little more diversity in Quantic. But I think that we have to acknowledge that this stuff is
similar
in there.
thing. I'm of two sides. I would like her to have more of a variety.
This is Kara, right?
Kara.
Yeah.
More of a variety of things that she has to overcome rather than being put in a bad spot by a creepy guy who's enacting his power.
Yep.
But also that would happen with like female androids.
That is the reality.
That's I mean, there's
which is
North
terrible.
Is a escort.
Yeah.
Which is what would happen.
Right.
Like that would so happen. That's one of my first thoughts was like, oh yeah, there's going to be a bunch of female android prostitutes because then they're not even a person.
Right.
You can
Literally
actually do whatever you want.
Literally,
And
the fact that we go to like the Eden Club at all in this
yeah,
game is just
which is again true to life. Like
Right.
that's what would happen. So
Right, and there were men on the poles and that you could
Yes,
purchase, but
but
like
it's not
the
the
only
same,
women
I
in
don't know.
only the women were kind of in more compromising positions.
yes. So yes, I would like Kara to have to overcome something else other
Right.
than that, and just have a little bit more depth to her than being, the mom character
who's always needing help or
either
always,
from men or trying to escape men.
exactly.
But again, it's a little bit true to life, so I don't know.
Tough.
It's tough. Greater variety in writing would be great.
Yeah,
I hope to see it.
Yeah.
Occasionally you do. Mm-hmm. Usually you don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I see both sides.
should we go to questions?
Sure.
So we got a few questions from both our Twitter at Left Behind Club and on our Discord server. I'll start with a question from Athunderheart from the Discord. Athunderheart asks, did any of y'all have strong feelings about androids in general that shaped how you felt about androids in the game? Pro or anti-AI? Question mark.
I don't think I ever had strong feelings, but I don't think if this happened in real life, I know I would land on the side of pro. Like there's of pro Android
people.
that they are people.
Yeah.
Like not anti-Android. Yeah. Like I know that I would fall in that sense.
I really don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not
don't
have
know.
strong feelings going in either way. I'm not the AI is going to all destroy us person, but at the same time, I'm like, but it could.
AI is
And-
going to change our workforce.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is a big part of this game, actually. They talk about that a lot in some of the newspapers that I didn't read.
The
but like,
unemployment rate gets up to 38%.
Exactly. It's like crazy because they haven't compensated for
sure
the fact that there's all these androids doing these
So
work.
I don't know pro or anti. You know what? It'd be depending if they're pacifist
There you
or
go.
if they're aggressive.
They just start shooting people.
If they're coming at me, I mean, I'm going to feel a certain way.
So listen
Yeah.
up, androids.
If they're like, hey, I'm a person and I feel things and
Yeah.
help me out.
Exactly.
That's a little different. So I don't know. I really don't know which way I would
my
go.
default mode is give
Yeah,
them the
yeah.
benefit of the doubt. That is
Yes.
my default mode for every scenario that I go into.
Kamski multiple times, the creator of CyberLife, says that like we created the Steam engine and unemployment happened after that, but the world continued, right?
Right.
Electricity happened. There was a change in the workforce.
Right, it just-
Yeah, you have to
Unemployment
adapt.
happened.
Exactly.
So everyone adapts. But
Yeah.
that's like a very short-sighted, myopic view of like, yeah, but like this is very different. This is
Right.
not a Steam engine.
Yes.
This is another being with what you may or may not call consciousness
Right.
and free will, right?
Like
So-
everyone adapts, but there's so much suffering that happens in
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
getting to and from point A to point B.
Yeah,
right?
that's like 100 times those examples of the steam engine like that is this. Yeah.
Yeah, Kamski's interesting. The last thing I want to say about him is you can have all three of your characters die, and when that happens, you get the Kamski ending where he just goes on TV afterwards. He reassumes the CEO-ship of CyberLife.
Interesting.
And says like, yeah, we got rid of all the androids and like we changed their programming and now they're just objects. Like, don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's messed
Nope.
up.
Yeah, so he's like, we fixed it. So like, they won't think they have consciousness.
yeah, it'll
They're
be
just
totally
objects.
fine
It's
now.
fine.
Oh my
I'm in
gosh.
control again. I'll fix it.
Okay.
Oy, oy, oy.
The greatest story ever played on Twitter at StoryEverPod asks which playable character is your favorite. I think we're gonna stick with.
yeah.
I'm kind of Kara by default.
Yeah, I'm still Kara.
Yeah.
You're enthusiastically Kara.
I'm enthusiastically Kara. Doesn't mean I dislike Connor. I very
No.
much like Connor. Marcus, take him or leave him.
Yeah.
I liked playing as each of them.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I like
As
the
a character,
gameplay as each
I'm
of them.
referring-
But
yeah.
by default, I'm kind of Kara.
And then we have one final question. Obviously, I'm Connor.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
Yes.
question there. Final question from CtrlAltNoob from the Discord server. The question is, and I'm going to change it a little bit because we've already answered it. I just want to know what some of the important choices you made and why, and your endings, and if you're happy with them. But I'm sure that's what you're going to do in the podcast anyway. What I'm going to take from this question is,
Yeah.
what do you think your most important decision in the entire game was?
Ooh, boy.
Or what's the decision that was the most impactful to you?
Impactful. I think.
Take the question as you will.
Yeah, you know what? I would say my most impactful decision, and I think I came to this realization after like talking about it with you guys here, is the decision to still care for Alice after you find out that she's an android. I think I didn't really realize that at first, but thinking about it, like, no, I'm going to care for this person regardless of what they are and who they are. If I didn't, then that completely defeats the point of what we're doing here. Right. So I think that's and I'm gonna die on this hill, but I think that's what it's gonna be.
Okay. I've got mine. It's the one that surprised me the most is the bus ticket thing. Like I'm so surprised that like you have your ticket out, you're an android. People don't treat you with the same respect that you are treating them. Mm-hmm. Why are you giving this woman who will be fine?
You treated her with like, no,
I don't understand.
I'm taking something from you.
Yeah, because the whole time I was like, revolution. We're going to like take it by force. Violence is the answer. And in this one instance, I was like, I'm going to give this human better treatment.
Because it's an individual person.
Yeah.
Right? It's one person.
I was really surprised.
To do something to one person is sometimes harder than like, no, I'm taking this action that's against a group.
Yeah.
But to like look someone in the eye and be like,
see
no.
the personal effects of what
this is a zero-sum game.
Yeah, I'm affecting this tangible person that I'm looking at
exactly
in this way, and that's harder.
Yeah.
I am taking from you.
Yeah.
For
but
sure.
You'll be fine. That's the one where I'm still going to think about it. Like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Because my humanity kind of, I guess, came through in the game.
Yeah.
Not when you dealt with Chloe, though, but whatever.
Kamsky test? Bow. I need my answers.
Wow.
So final thoughts about Detroit Become Human.
I liked it. I had a really good time with it. Yes, there's a lot of problematic things surrounding the game itself and its development. I still really liked it. I think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to what is happening in this game and kind of the metaphors and the things that it's trying to say. And I think it's interesting. But yeah, so I would recommend someone to play it for sure.
Yeah, as you said, problematic. Yeah. I think that David Cage should probably get more diverse writers on his staff.
Yeah.
Just a thought. I'm not a game developer,
sure.
so what do I know? Games are hard. Games are really hard.
Games are hard.
It's surprising that this game even works because from a technical execution standpoint, boy, it's something.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Recommend, but I really, really hope that David Cage and Quantic looks at the way they write and thinks about that for their next project. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited for whatever it is, especially now that they're independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope that what's out there is not true about them because that's real, real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to bring you down, Katie.
Well, most of those companies could use with some
diversity.
Could do with some just advancing in how they respect other people and treat their coworkers. But anyway, there are other people who have written very good articles about this. Same thing with the whole little iffy with how on the nose it is with the like black civil rights in the 60s, and it's real on the nose in some spots, and it's directly comparing, and I don't know how I feel about it. Same thing. There are some other people who have written some really insightful articles about this very topic. But I really liked this game, and I did not expect to.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when I had talked about it like a year ago of whether or not I wanted to play it, and I was like, no, I don't want to play that game. And then Jake was like, yeah, we're going to play it. I'm like, okay, like I will give anything a shot. And I really, really, really liked it, actually. Yeah. Like, I was in suspense. I actually liked the gameplay. It wasn't the most involved all the time, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I would recommend this game to anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we close our thoughts on Detroit Become Human. We're going to get some food, but in the meantime, you should check out our social media at Left Behind Club on Twitter and at Left Behind Game Club on Instagram. You can check our full list of episodes we've done. This is episodes 75 and 76, but we have 74 other episodes you can listen to at leftbehindgame.club or wherever you get your podcasts. Beyond that, if you want to join in and talk with the folks that listen to the show, you can find a link to our Discord, which if you don't know what Discord is, and you've been listening for all these episodes, and I keep mentioning Discord, it's just like a big chat.
Just Google Discord.
Just Google Discord and go and find ours at leftbehindgame.club. We share some great deals. We share information about gaming news, what we're playing.
We got a real nice community in there.
Everyone's
real nice and friendly, and they chat.
And they're going to tell us what we got wrong, or
for sure,
or how Jacob is an evil monster.
Oh yeah, probably.
That's typically.
what
happens.
That's the trend. So
that is the trend. I will start by saying that you can find me on social media at Jacob McCourt on all major social media platforms, or at jacobmccourt.com. Travis, where can people find you?
I'm on the Twitter at Travis Colenutt.
And Katie?
Best place to find me is in the Discord. I'm Lesperance.
Cool.
I'm all up in there.
Thank you for listening. That is one less game left behind. That is our episode, and with that, I say that is one less. Nope. Brain's broken.
Been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.